Welcome to the Refine and Shine, the podcast dedicated to mastering the art of continuous improvement and optimizing every aspect of your life. I'm Angelina Rivera, your host, and together we'll uncover the secrets to refining our lives, our habits, and our processes to unlock our inner brilliance. Join us on Refine and Shine, where we'll delve deep into achieving more in life without the burnout and without all the stress. This podcast is your platform for a more fulfilling life through continuous improvement and personal growth. In each episode, I and a diverse array of guests discuss practical strategies for up-leveling every aspect of your life. From developing good habits and organizing your space to refining your mindset and personal goals, we're going to explore it all. Our guests share personal stories about the systems they've developed or systems they've used and the tweaks they've made in their lives when refinement was needed, allowing them to truly shine. Listen to Refine and Shine to learn how you can implement continuous improvement techniques in your daily routine, develop and maintain healthy habits that lead to success and satisfaction, organize your life to reduce the stress and increase your productivity, foster a growth mindset that propels you to new heights. My mission is to inspire you to take bold action, make positive changes, and become the best version of yourself. Whether you're aiming to elevate your career, nurture meaningful relationships, or enhance your overall well-being, Refine and Shine is your guiding light. With over 25 years of experience in continuous improvement, I help businesses streamline their processes, establish efficient work areas, and implement standard work protocols. I have trained over 600 individuals and teams in process improvement, optimizing workflows, and enhancing overall operational efficiency. Tune in every week as we embark on an enlightening journey, exploring paths to refinement and illuminating the way to shine in every area of our lives. Subscribe now and join us on this journey to polish your life and let your best self shine through. Thank you for joining us on Refine and Shine. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Refine and Shine podcast. I'm super excited about my guest today. I met her in person a couple of years ago, and we've been just having this conversation, been able to keep in touch with social media or events that we've been able to both be at. But my friend today is Lorayne Michaels. She is a certified personal trainer, a certified wellness coach, and a powerhouse speaker. She helps women break free from mental and physical barriers, keeping them stuck. Her mission? To help women rebuild their confidence, heal from the inside out, and become who God created them to be, with mind, body, and spirit. So thank you, Lorayne, for being my guest today.
Thanks, Angelina. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm excited to connect again. It's always fun to see you.
Thank you so much. I remember the first time that we connected, I didn't even I was kind of like, I think I want to have a podcast. I don't know if I'm going to have a podcast. And look, finally I have a podcast, and I'm super excited that you get to be one of my guests. So thank you today for saying yes to being a guest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of the things that I wanted to see is you talk about you help women break free from the barriers, the things that keep them stuck. And I just wanted to know, is it always been something you wanted to help with, or is it something from your own journey that's helped you transform to help people today?
I think it's a little bit of both. So I've always been the kind that sees the best in people. I've always been the kind of person that when I see someone maybe not acting in their best or performing at their best, I always try and find that gold in them and bring that out of them. And also, it has come from me being in really tough situations and having to get myself out of it, or find community, or find the right tools to help me rise above, to help me tap into my own higher self, right? My own personal best. So I think it's a little bit of both. And having been there, done that, so to speak, helps me relate to other people and help them through their journey and break through those barriers as well.
Oh, I love it. I think that's so important. Is this as we go through our own experiences, and sometimes it could be really hard things that we've went through, but that pain and all the things that we've been through helps us. So, and it's like God puts us through these journeys so that we can be able to help others get through the journey on the other side and see that there's hope to
Yeah.
transform. There's hope to break free from these barriers, these things that hold us back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say, as a prayer is, God, don't let this pain go in vain. Um, it kind of helps you stay focused on not necessarily why me, but okay, what can I learn from this? And it just really helps you shift perspective. So you're not living in that victim mentality, but what can I gain from this? And just adopting that mindset of everything is happening for me, not to me.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's so important because when we're stuck in victim mentality and we're always like, oh, great, this is, of course, this happened to me, it's so negative instead of it's like, okay, God, what is this trying to teach me? What am I going to be able to learn from this? And, because if we always think about the negativity, we're always going to have that negative mindset. We're always going to be like, of course, this happens, of course, this, of course, that, and just that negativity. And when we have that negativity, we're attracting really bad vibrations and we're attracting more negative energy, wouldn't you say?
Yep, absolutely. What you focus on grows. So if you're constantly in that negative headspace, the more negativity that you're seeing and calling in, the more you're going to see it. So if you start to focus on the positive and start to try and see the good in it, or the silver lining, if you will, then you will start to see more positive things. And like you said, with that vibration, you start vibrating at a higher frequency. You start attracting different people and different experiences and different opportunities, and they start to become more and more positive because you're focusing on the positive.
Mm. Yeah, I really love that. So, as you go through these things that you help women to break free from the mental and the physical barriers, like kind of walk us through is what do you do to help them?
So as far as like from well, let's see, with personal training, it's easy for me, because they're coming to me for a specific purpose, right? So they come to me because they want to lose weight, but in the back of my mind, I have all these tools for them, right? It's not just a nutrition plan, it's not just a fitness plan. So I have a client in particular who works out so much and she's not eating enough. And one of the questions that I ask my clients when they tell me that they're working out, 5 days a week and they're not seeing progress, and I ask them, are you working out 5 days a week because you love it and you want to, or are you working out 5 days a week because you feel like you have to, because you have this weight that you want to lose, or this image that you want to look like? What is it? Is it because you love it, and you can't get enough of it, or is it because you feel like you have to? And a lot of times, 99% of the time, it's because I feel like I have to. It's because I'm not seeing the progress. So surely if I work out more, then I'll lose the weight, or I'll achieve what, I want. And so there is where I have to address the mental barriers of it. So it's not just the physical barriers. So then we have to walk through these uh, mental gymnastics, if you will. And I train them in that aspect of how to love your body, honor your body with food. We're not starving our body, right? Because a lot of women tend to think that eat less, move more, and it's going to equal weight loss. Maybe at first, but when you go for so long in that mindset, your body adapts to that, and then it is holding on to everything because it's in survival mode. So it's a little bit of both. I work with clients who might think it's a physical barrier, that they're coming to me with needing help, but I find a lot of them have that mental barrier that we have to work through as well.
I love that. I love that. And I love that I found that there was a time when I would force myself to have to, like, I have to do this. And it's with everything. When you have that, I have to, it has like a negative like saying to it, or feeling to it, when it says, instead of saying like I get to work out, like I have the ability to work out, I get to go to work, instead of I have to go to work. Just the way that we say things, it's again going back to that vibration, and it helps us with that energy. When we're more vibrant, we have that more feeling of gratitude for it, it makes us feel a lot better. And then we get more excited about things. I think that that's important. And I love how you said that, is that sometimes it's just more of the mental than it is the physical. It's just that we got to change the way that we think about food, the way that we think about why are we eating, how are we eating, and, going back to like, what's the story behind it?
Yeah, yeah, big time. And a lot of times they don't even realize that the story behind it, if they were raised a certain way or they were told certain things when they were growing up, um, that's a big part of it is the story behind it. What got us there, making those habits, thinking those thoughts. Yeah, that's pretty powerful.
When I was I was raised in a family of six, and we were very poor growing up. You know, food, we had to go to like the food kitchen. We would, not the food kitchen, but like where they get the free bread, the free milk,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
powdered milk, things like that.
yeah.
The church thing. And so when we would eat, we always, my mom always made sure that we had dinner and all that stuff, but it was like we're so portion divided everything into small portions so that we can make sure that everybody could have like whatever we were eating for dinner. Never really had leftovers or anything like that. So then when I moved in, my husband and I moved in together, and I'm cooking these big old meals because I'm used to it, which for us, two, it was a lot of stuff, like a lot of leftovers, and he didn't like leftovers. And I always felt like, oh, I got to eat this because I can't be wasteful. And just like having that mindset, like you don't have to, he's like, you don't have to finish your plate. You're like not going to get into trouble. And it was
Yeah.
just having those, and it was just that learned behavior that you can't waste food because you're ungrateful or all of that. Like that was a mental block that I had to like, okay, food can go bad, or now we have dogs, so if there's anything left over that the dogs can have, it's okay to give them like the leftovers. It's just
Yeah.
having that mindset shift.
Yeah, absolutely. That learned behavior, just like you said, it can help us or it can hurt us. It just depends on what type of upbringing we had, and um, yeah, definitely.
One of the things that I find that is, for women, that as we grow older, is that there's, for a long time, for me personally, I always heard that like having too much protein was bad. But I
Mm.
actually think that we have been doing ourselves as women a disservice by not having enough protein. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, we have been led astray. I do remember hearing, like, oh, if you have too much protein, it's going to damage your kidneys and your body won't even absorb it, and all these things. But in reality, as we age, our bones lose the bone density. There's osteoporosis, osteopenia, so our bones start to weaken. And one of the things that helps us build stronger bones, even when we age, is building muscle. And also, if you're wanting to lose weight, muscle is more metabolically active than fat is. So, the more muscle you have, the more your body is going to burn and use up and burn the fat. So, you want more muscle, not just to look good, but to be healthy and to have healthy bones. And you have to get enough protein. It's not, we have all these other macronutrients and micronutrients that we need, and amino acids that we need that can only come from food. But protein is the building block of it all. Like it starts with that. And I always tell my clients that we should be eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. So that's something that it's a general easy rule. Like we can do 1 to 2, but that's just getting into nuances as far as what body composition goal you have. But having a gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight is your sweet spot there. So I say you can never overdo it on protein because it's the building block. It's what we need. It's the most important macro that you need.
It's like the foundation, right? That we're setting a firm foundation for ourselves to build.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that I think is also interesting that you brought up is that, like,
when people look at their weight, they just look at a number on the scale, right? Instead of like, what is it? Is it like fat weight or is it like muscle weight and things like that? And like, from my understanding, and I think you kind of shared on this, like the muscle weight is a better weight than it to think about like your fat weight because of the way that we're burning the
Yeah.
calories, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And muscle and fat lay different on you. So, for a while, people they were saying stuff like muscle weighs more than fat, but that's not it at all. A pound is a pound. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it doesn't matter what it is. A pound is a pound, but it lays different, definitely. So when you have someone who's 5'7" and someone someone that's 5'7" and maybe 150 pounds, but has more muscle mass than someone that's 5'7" and has a higher body fat percentage and lower muscle mass, they're going to look completely different. In fact, the one that has more muscle is going to look leaner and thinner, but they weigh the same. And that's just because of the structure and how muscle is and how it's formed and the way it lays in fat as well. Um, and a lot of times with my clients, they are so hyper fixated on the number of this on the scale. And I used to get like that too. I'm always like, I want to get down to this weight. I want to be at this number. And you really can't focus and hyperfixate on the number because that doesn't matter. Um, so, like one of the clients that I'm currently working with, she's like, I'm really afraid to increase my calories. I know you're saying that I need to be at such and such calories. I'm afraid to because I'm afraid the scale is going to go up. And I said, you know what? It might. It might go up, but where you're going to see the improvement and where you're going to see the changes is in how you look, how you feel, how your clothes are going to start fitting you. But what we're needing to do is we're needing to feed your body because we're working out. I have this program that you're on and it's requiring a certain amount of calories and energy, and we got to feed your body. So that scale is going to be deceiving. It's not going to move and it might even increase. But what you need to pay attention to is the way that you look, the way that you feel, your energy, your clothes. You'll start to see changes. And sure enough, we're 3-4 weeks in a program and I'm like, hey, just a gentle reminder, you need to update your progress pictures. And she did. And she was just beside herself. She was like, oh my gosh, like the scale hasn't moved and I can see a difference in the progress pictures, my first starting and where we're at right now. So it just goes to show you got to trust the process.
I love that. And I love that you also are do you have them take progress pictures so that, so do you like right when they start with you and then each week? Is that how it goes?
Not each week, depending on what we're doing, depending on like if we start and their calories are way off than where they need to be, I usually won't do it right away. So when you start with me, absolutely yes. And then usually 2 weeks is the earliest I'll do it, and then 4 weeks, and then usually like 6, 8, and then depending on what we're doing and what we're changing, that's usually how I structure it.
I like that. And I think that that's important too, because people will, if they're constantly just addicted to what is on the numbers on the scale, then they're not going to see that transformation. But when you look at a photo or, a progress picture, like even taking for me, like I've noticed when I take measurements, I can see a difference more in the measurements, even
Yeah.
if the scale goes up, but it's a different feeling and I feel more energetic. I feel like I'm more alive, so to speak,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not so tired.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I was wondering about is, with everything that you do, helping these women with transformation and all the things, was there ever a season where you yourself felt stuck and you needed to break free?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, yes, I would say this is kind of like twofold. Um, I was noticing, so before I got into the personal development, I've always been, either an athlete or some in the realm of fitness of some way, shape, or form. So I was in medicine for over 20 years, and then I was in fitness for, just about the same amount of time. But there was a point in my career where it just wasn't fulfilling anymore. And I really didn't feel like I was living any kind of purpose. I was exceeding in my career, but I felt stuck. And that's what really led me to the personal development side and the coaching side. And then, becoming a personal trainer and all of this. But it was that stuckness. It was more of like a mental stuckness because I just felt like something is not clicking here. Like I feel like I'm just existing. I don't have a purpose. And then that's what kind of led me down this journey and personal development and just encouraging others and helping others see their potential, their God-given gifts, and pulling that out of them as well.
I love that. I love that. And I can so relate because I felt that about 2 or 3 years ago where I felt like I was just like, I'm just doing like I'm just here. I'm just doing it, but I'm physically here, but I'm not here. Like
Yeah.
mentally I'm not here. And I felt like I wasn't like I was limiting myself and like I
Yeah.
wanted to like I forget which movie it is, but it just a movie came to my mind where I just wanted to fly, I wanted to like expand and I couldn't like flap my wings to expand. And so you have to like figure out what's behind that. And is there, and to shift a career is scary, especially when you've been doing something for 20 years, 20 plus years. And then you're like, I'm going to go this way. And it's hard. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of ups and downs. Like being an entrepreneur is not easy, but we just have to go for it. And I love that you said about like previously, it's just like, what is the God-given talents that we have and how you help people feel unstuck on that? Because sometimes we're so in much of fear of failure, fear of what people might think. But like God has given us gifts. And if we are not using these gifts that he's given us, what a disservice it is to it. Right. And so I love that you're helping people see that and like, hey, let's get unstuck physically and mentally to shine like a butterfly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was, you had said, not using your gifts is a disservice. I can't remember where I read. Oh, it was something along the lines, and I'm paraphrasing, of God has given you the gift of your talent, and what you do with it in the world is your gift back to Him. So by you not using your gift that He gave you, you're not honoring Him and you're not giving that gift back to Him. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. I mean, I don't know about all of your listeners, but I'm a believer and I want to definitely honor my creator. And by doing what he created me to do, right? I don't want that to go to waste. I don't want to get to heaven and him be like, I gave you this and you didn't even use it.
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I think that's so important. And it's like, like you have a toolbox of tools, right? And are you not going to you're just going to always just use one tool, or are you going to use all the tools that he's given you to build whatever you need to build, right? I think that's so
Right.
important. I always use tools and toolboxes because I'm just like, I have that manufacturing background. It's just the way that my mind thinks. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. And yes, I'm definitely, a believer in God, or, and if people don't believe in God, it's whoever your creator is, the divine power. For me, it's God. But we are all given something there, talents and a life, and so much beauty is in our life, and we just have to sometimes get it pulled out of us and learn to love ourselves too. And once we learn to love ourselves and love our bodies and get out of that mental funk, we can do so much wonder in the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What advice would you give to somebody, for a woman who feels disconnected from their purpose?
Oh, I would say I would ask them to get quiet and shut out, the world, the noise, the responsibilities, but just get quiet and maybe journal. But ask ask them to ask themselves, what brings me the most joy? What do I love doing? What lights me up? What brings me joy? And write that down. And then do I do it? And if the answer is no, what can I do in order to do it? And start doing the things that bring you joy and light you up. And then also, how are they mentally and physically? How's your health? Because if you're not healthy, you're not going to be operating as your highest self. You're not going to show up with the most energy. You're not going to show up, happy, energetic. Momming is hard. Wifing is hard. Like all those things are already hard. But if you're not healthy mentally or physically, you're not showing up fully the way you are, the way you're created to be. And so making sure that your health is in order, and also making sure that you're doing the things that bring you joy. Because when you have those two coincide, and they are both in a healthy level, you're going to show up better. And it's just going to be a ripple effect. And you're going to encourage others to do the same. And people will be inspired by that,
Yeah, I think that's so good. I think that it's so important too. And a lot of times that, even especially, for the woman out there who feels like they can't do it all, or that they already got too much on their plate. If you do not take care of your health, you cannot take care of others. Like you cannot pour from an empty cup. And that self-care is so important. That like taking care of yourself physically is so, so important. I have had burnout where I ended up in the hospital because I thought, no, I got to keep pushing myself. I got to keep pushing myself. After having a major surgery, I kept pushing, where I was collapsed in at a hospital. Like I collapsed and had to be taken by and like I couldn't take care of my 1-year-old son. And it was like you're pushing yourself so much, and like God had to like slap me on the forehead and say, "Wake up! You have to take care of you because you cannot take care of your son if you do not take care of you." And I think that's an important reminder. Like we shouldn't let ourselves get to the part where we're so burnt out that we don't even know if we're coming or going.
Yeah. 100%. I couldn't agree more.
And it's not selfish to take care of your health. Like seriously.
Yes. I mean, you said it perfectly. You can't pour from an empty cup. And I talk about that, with high achieving women who neglect their health. And it's like they're so focused on their career and they're so focused on the achievement and the accolades and making the money and all the things. And I'm like, if you don't take care of yourself and you don't take care of your health, you're not going to, it's useless. You're not going to be able to maintain this business and, whatever it is, the success, like it means nothing if you don't have your health. So I really like focusing on working with, the high achieving women because they're driven for one, and they're great clients because they want to succeed. But as soon as you get through to them on the whole mental aspect of it and taking care of themselves, and it's not selfish, they're amazing clients.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, how can people who want to work with you, connect with you? What is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. They can find me on any social media platform, just by my name, Lorayne Michaels, and they'll be able to find me. Armor Up Fitness is my personal training business. Yeah, so any of the socials, that's probably the easiest way, or my website, but that it would probably be easier to get into contact with me through social media.
Yes, yes, for sure. And I'll definitely have those links in there. And one of the things I want people to realize is that she can do, like, we're in a world of virtual, right? She is on one side of the United States, I'm on the other side right now. And we were able to do this this podcast, meaning that she can also help you no matter where you are she can help you because of the gift of being able to have this, if the pandemic helped us with anything, is to make sure that we can help people virtually, right? And so
Yeah.
you can help people that way as well. So
Yep.
I think that's important.
Yeah, I definitely have virtual clients. Sometimes it's a little bit even more, I don't want to say time consuming. I give them a lot more energy, because I'm constantly, checking in on their food, checking in on their plans, progress pics like we talked about. So I'm definitely on top of it on the virtual ones as well.
I love that. I love that. One of the things that I always, as we wrap up though, I want to ask you one more question before I ask you the thing that I ask everybody. You're a woman who is really into your health and your fitness, but what do you also do to help strengthen your mind and wells your spirit?
Quiet time, quiet time with the Lord, journaling every day. I don't skip it. In fact, today was a difficult day for me to get going, and my mind was racing, and I literally was thinking of everything, and I was like, I just need to sit with the Lord. Like, I really just need to sit here and read and journal, and hopefully He can straighten my thoughts out. But that is something that is really powerful, is making sure that I'm journaling and I'm spending time in the Bible.
I love that. I love that. I think that's so powerful. And I also find that the same thing. Like when I don't sit, or I don't do my devotions, or I don't read in the morning, and then my day kind of feels off, and I'm like, why is it off? You have to make it a daily habit, or whatever the way you fit it in, whatever works for you. But you have to make sure that you get some routine and some habits in place in order to
Mhm.
help you achieve the goals that you have. And that all starts with taking care of your mind, body, and spirit, right? You got to do all three. You can't just take care of your mind, but then feed your body bad and not exercise your body. And you got to take, all of it ties in together.
Yep, absolutely. It's all connected. You can't, one's out of balance, you're going to feel it and see it in some way or capacity in your life. So they are definitely all connected. You got to nurture those all.
So important. One of the things that I always ask my guest is, what is one either a word, a phrase, a quote, a book, any type of thing, any type of action that my listeners can take today in order to help them refine and shine.
I would say, I would say it would be an action, and that would definitely be to find the joy in the journey. So everybody has a story, and everybody's story matters. And if they can find the joy in the journey and realize that their life matters and their story matters and there's a purpose for the pain, they definitely can refine and shine.
Mm, I love that. I love that. I think that's so powerful, and I know that a lot of times people think that their story doesn't matter, or they're not enough, or all of these things, these negative self beliefs. But if they can just know that everything happens for a reason, everything happens for a purpose, and and maybe we have some traumas, maybe we've had some bad things happen, but how can we help others? How can we teach others? How can we help others shine? And learn from our lessons, are the things that we had to learn in order to lead ourselves to a better life. I think that's important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being an amazing guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. I loved it.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Refine and Shine. We hope you find valuable insights and inspiration to fuel your journey of continuous improvement. Remember, the key to success lies in refining your processes and letting your inner brilliance shine. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated and helps us reach more listeners like you who are eager to refine and shine in all areas of life. Stay connected with us on social media for updates and additional resources and behind the scenes content. We love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to reach out with any suggestions, questions, or success stories you'd like to share. As we wrap up, remember that the power to transform your life lies within you. Keep striving for growth, embracing change, and seeking opportunities to refine your skills. Together, let's continue to shine bright and make a positive impact in the world. Until next time, keep refining and keep shining.